algorithm design technique, namely dynamic programming. Let's understand this through a very well-known example of generating a Fibonacci sequence or the numbers. So we are very much familiar with these Fibonacci numbers, and we do know the formula wherein every Fibonacci number is equal to the sum of the two previous Fibonacci numbers. So this is a recursive definition. Any recursive definition must have an initial condition. So the Fibonacci, the initial condition is first and the second numbers are equal to 1. If I have to generate the Fibonacci numbers using this recurrence formula, say I would want to generate Fibonacci of 6. Then as per the rule, it calls to generate the two previous Fibonacci numbers. They are F5 and an F4. Now to find F5, I'll have to get F of 4 plus F of 3. Now to get this F of 4, I need F of 3 and F of 2. To get F of 3, I need F of 2 and F of 1. To get F of 1, I need F of 1 and F of 0. Similarly, F of 3, I need F of 2 and F of 1. Similarly, if I were to go here, F of 3, 4 is F of 3 and F of 2. F of 3 is F of 2 and F of 1. F of 2 is F of 1 and F of 0, and likewise it runs. If I were to now carefully examine, I see that F of 4 is computed here once, and also it has been computed here. So F of 4 is being computed twice. If I were to look at F of 3, is that once over here, second time, and a third time over here. So this has been done 3 times. And similarly, if I were to take F of 2, would that be once or twice, thrice, and 4 times? So what I see here is that the same sub-problem is being repeatedly being computed. So quite obvious is that why are we wasting our time computing the same problem and again? Instead, we could have stored these values in a table and use this table whenever required. So this is my Fibonacci number series 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I get these values, and when I get F of 2, I'll dump it over here. When I get F of 3 here, will I dump it here? Wherever I refer F3, instead of recomputing, will I refer to this? This is the basic essence of dynamic programming. So it is applied to those problems wherein the sub-problems are overlapping. I see that F of 3, the same sub-problem is appearing twice. So instead of computing the same sub-problem twice, what we do is we can compute it once, store it in a table. The next time when I encounter the same problem, instead of recomputing, will I take that value from the table? This is the essence or the philosophy behind the dynamic programming. So we have one complete chapter under dynamic programming. We'll be working out 4 to 5 algorithms. One is the binomial coefficient, the other one is the Warshall's algorithm, the third one is the Floyd's algorithm, the other one is the Dishtrod's, and then the Hamming code. All of these we will be focused very much on the application rather than the algorithms. All these are fairly simple, just like carrying out simple maths problem. Okay. Now I'll continue with the binomial coefficient, which is very, very simple. So the binomial coefficient is the very first problem that we will understand under the dynamic programming design strategy. So the binomial coefficient, we have a recurrence formula. BC stands for binomial coefficient. Say we are trying to find the binomial coefficient of the two numbers m and n. So the formula tells me that it is BC of m minus 1 comma n minus 1 plus BC of m minus 1 comma n. It's a recurrence. Why? BC has been defined in terms of itself there here. Hence we call this to be a recurrence. And we do know that any recurrence formula must have a base condition or an initial condition or a termination condition. So the termination condition is it is m comma 0, or when both of them are same, this is equal to 1. Right. So having understood the formula, now let's try to apply dynamic programming technique to solve the binomial coefficient. See, we would want to solve the binomial coefficient of the 6 comma 4. So this we will do so by constructing a table, because we know that the very philosophy of a dynamic programming is it is every sub problem being solved, the value will be entered into the table for later reference. Let's do so here. So we have start from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 there here. So here 0 and I should go till 4 there here. 1, 2, 3 and a 4 there here. 2, 3 and a 4. So this is my table that I will use to compute the binomial coefficient of 6 comma 4. Now I have this initial condition there here. It is m comma 0, that is 0 comma 0, 1 comma 0. All of these are a 1, 1. Similarly, m comma n, 1 comma 1 is a 1, 2 comma 2 is a 1, 3 comma 3 and a 4 comma 4 is a 1. Now what I really need is BC of 6 comma 4, 6 and a 4. This value I need. Now how do I get this? So my tells me that it is, if I were to have something of this kind there here, if this is my cell m comma n, this is equal to, it's m minus 1, the previous row, and the previous column n minus 1, and this is the previous row and the same column. So every value is equal to the sum of the two values just right above it. With that is, you can see it in the form of an L shape. So I start computing these cells there here. So this is equal to, above and left to it, 1 plus 1 a 2, this 1 plus 2 a 3, this 1 plus 2 a 3, this 1 plus 3 a 4, this 3 plus 3 a 6, and this 3 plus 1 a 4, this is 4 plus 1 a 5, this is a 10, this is a 10, this is a 5, this is 1 plus 5 a 6, 5 plus 10 a 15, this is a 20, and this is the 15. So this is of our interest. So what it says, tells me that BC of 6 comma 4 is equal to 15. So we could generate it with so much ease, the binomial coefficient. Now let's see, are we really right? So we'll get back to a fundamental maths. Binomial coefficient is NCR that we have studied in our school days there here, whose formula then we had studied was n factorial divided by r factorial into n minus r factorial. We'll cross check this with this. So it is 6c4. So 6 factorial divided by 4 factorial into 2 factorial. So 6 factorial, what is that I can do? It is 6 into 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. This is 4 factorial, 4 into 3 into 2 into 1, and it is 2 into 1. So 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1 gets cancelled. 2 3s are, this is equal to 15. Yes, whatever we have got is right there here. So this is the dynamic programming approach to compute the binomial coefficient. So in the examination, you will be very straightforward asked to compute the binomial coefficient for a given pair of values using the dynamic programming approach. You also have this in your laboratory. We have a simple program written to generate this table and hence to compute the binomial coefficient. So work out this, understand. We have one exercise problem which it is provided in the solution manual. Try it out so that you will be enriched with this particular portion of dynamic programming. Thank you.